Hello, beautiful soul. This morning I woke up with the words in my head saying, I am guided and provided for. Guided and provided for. And it's a beautiful little sentence, isn't it? Because if I wake up with that in the morning and just not just hear the words, but really take them in, like I am being guided and I am provided for. Doesn't that make a difference? If that was the identity or the experience that we start our day with, and then keep it alive, saying it or feeling it one time is not going to change a whole lot. So that's why when we get these insights or inspirations or words or whatever it is, something that goes like, oh, and then really take it into the body and let it go to the places that need to hear that, right? It's not just something we say to the mind, like, oh, that's nice. And then we go about our business. But most of us do, because most people don't really know how to take it in. So it becomes felt. It's a felt sense experience. And every cell in your body will respond to it, usually by a sense of relief, a deep breath, relaxation. And the importance is that we maintain that during the day. Don't just make it a one-time nice idea. That moment when you feel the breath, you feel the relaxation, those neural pathways that have been firing and wiring together in the opposite experience. Like, it's like, no, I'm all on my own. I don't know what to do. And I have to take care of myself. Nobody's providing for us. That's the old identity that we have lived by, because that is what the programming has been in this dimension. And it's impacted every single one of us. So now we are luckily, blessedly moving out of the old and into what we can call the new earth or the new paradigm, which is where this does not exist. And if you have not listened to the meditation I offered yesterday, I would very much invite you and hopefully inspire you to listen to it, because I help you go into that place where you live from a different reality. You live as a different reality because you're not bringing the old reality or the old identity with you. The old one is wired in a certain way, wired for limitation and stress, anxiety, not good enough, can't do it, right? That's the old. And that's the identity that we wake up in and as every morning. Just think about it. The first thing that comes to mind is all your problems and all the things you think you can't do. You tell yourself, oh, I can't do this. I can't make it through another day. I don't know how to deal with this. I don't know how to pay my bills. This is the old identity that we have all been programmed to believe, that we have all embodied. That's the one that we feel in and as the felt sense first thing in the morning, and then every moment after that until we go to bed. And then maybe we get a break there if we can even sleep. So we need to really first be aware of that old identity. And the thing is, the reason you can't do it in one setting is because it's so thickly wired that even if you just see one little belief, one little neuron, like, oh, I see, like, oh, I'm being guided and provided for. It's like, oh, how lovely. Get a nice deep breath. And then you get out of bed and all your problems are there. This little thing that happened in the morning, it's gone. Maybe never to be seen again unless you keep it alive and alive and alive every moment of your day. Now, that doesn't happen like that because every moment of the day, we are focusing on our problems and our limitations. So that's what we do all day long and maybe all night long, showing up in our dreams and whatnot. So the shift doesn't just happen overnight. For some people, it may, but I still doubt it because I know a lot of people who've had these major breakthroughs and are functioning, as maybe spiritual teachers and, really have the transmission and the energy. But then over time, you start noticing that there's issues, there's problems, there's maybe health challenges. Not to say that that's wrong in any way, but maybe there are still layers that are identified with the past, even though maybe a bigger part has opened up to the divine. It happened for me for sure when I had my big awakening back in the 80s. For several months, I've shared this before. I literally walked around as this open, loving vessel, and then everything crumbles and came back down because something appeared in my life that brought everything up to the surface. All the past, all the beliefs, the limitations, family trauma, all that stuff right there. And I didn't have it in me to keep, to stay present in what was actually true. So that's why we need to keep working on it. I do, because there's another layer or there's something that will creep in again, and we need to catch it before it takes us over. So if you have that little insight that I had this morning, which is so lovely, it's like, oh, I take a deep breath and just, rest in that, just lean back into that feeling. And I would say, do it, do it, do it. Take a long bath in it so it can really soak into your cells so that it gets easier and easier to come back to that and maintain that connection and disconnect from the old identity or the old way of being. It's a huge leap to take this and what we're undergoing right now. I'm with this so much of my day. And then I get busy doing things and then I don't think about it. But luckily, it's like, oh, yeah, oh, I'm guided. I'm being guided from within. You want to just feel that with me? I'm being guided from within. And I am being provided for. Doesn't that give you a sense of peace and belonging, relaxation? This is what we all long for. And the reason that we long for it is simply because it is already here. The reason we long for it is because we're beginning to feel it again. But it still feels separate, right? Longing, it's like I'm here and what I long for is here, and there's this gap and I want to get to it, right? There's still this sense of separation or gap. Now it's up to us to close that gap by letting ourselves feel the felt sense of this relief we feel or this peace we feel when we say this to ourselves. It's like, I'm being guided. And something just relaxes. And in that relaxation, the two melt into one. The reason we feel anxiety is because it feels like there's two and we're separate from the divine. And that causes anxiety and limitation where I can't do it, I don't have enough. But when you rest into that knowing, let's say today we're going to say, I am guided from within. I am guided. And then you just melt into that feeling, and then you actually are already there and you are guided. The reason you may not feel it a moment later or a day later is because you have left it again to go back into the place that doesn't feel guided, that does feel alone, having to do it all on your own. So every morning, it's a really beautiful way to start your morning, that before you get out of bed, you let yourself feel, it could be what you deeply long for, and then let yourself, melt into that longing, that feeling. It's like, oh, I just want to feel peace. Peace is usually at the core of all of us. When we move through all the layers of what we say we want, we really just want peace. And we only feel peace when we really feel that everything is taken care of. We don't have to work so hard. It doesn't even make sense that we have to struggle and strive in order to survive. It makes no sense when you come out of that grip of the false matrix of the past. You go like, this makes no sense. But when you're in that struggle, it's all you know because that's all that's in front of you. So that's why it's so important that we just get out of that and we can go, oh, thank you. You can just check with yourself. Is this something you want? This sense of relief, this sense of relaxation, peace, deep breath. Right? And then with that, this provides for itself. It's natural, right? Your lungs breathe. They know how to breathe. Your arm lifts. It knows how to lift. I'm not thinking about, okay, now I have to do this. It just happens. The blood flows. The trees, the leaves come in the spring and they fall in the autumn and they take a nice break in the winter. It's natural. As long as we don't force this slide in between from the past that is limiting, that tells us otherwise. Let me know if you hadn't had a chance to watch that meditation yesterday. I think it's a nice way to start entering into where the peace comes from, where it lives, where it is, and it's you, it's me. And when we stay present inside with who and what we are, then we start feeling that naturalness and the peace and the joy. You don't walk around, worrying. You just like, oh no, that's the old wiring in my brain. It's like, no, peace, remembering it, coming back to it. Put little post-it stickers around your house to remember, like, whatever it is for you. Today for me, it came like, I am guided. Ah, I am provided for. Ah. So I think it's a good idea to stop many times during the day and remember what it is you want to remember and that you may have forgotten because you got too absorbed in the old, in the business, in the world. And then you get identified with it, and then you lose your sense of peace, which is who and what you are. and also what you came here for this time, to really be it, to be it like we did in that meditation yesterday. Yeah, let me know. And also let me know, is there anything else you would like me to share about? Not that I know everything, but usually when I get these insights or invitations, it comes because I'm being guided. I go here and then I wait to see what comes out. Let me know. Please like, subscribe, definitely comment below if you have it in you. And I will see you again soon.